Yeah, kids can be an accident and such, and you don't want your kid to grow up in a broken family or anything, and you want to do your best to provide for your kid underneath your circumstances. But at the same time, if the two people in a relationship are having multiple faults and they know what their problems are, but they continue to stick with each other and for whatever reason continue to push to be in a relationship, I'd rather that they just split up, because you don't want to put that burden of the two of you not getting along onto other people, especially not a developing child.
Yeah, that's real. I feel that's very authentic. That's a very good point. Very much like, y'all should just leave each other alone. There was this TikTok that I saw before, folks, where a girl says, and I quote, she says, well, it's in quotation marks, "Let's all buy a big house and live in it together so that we can save money and also stay close." Quotation marks. I thought that was funny because because growing up, I don't know if anyone else ever had that friend group where everyone was like, "Oh my God, guys, let's let's get together, let's buy a house, let's rent it out, let's all live together and whatnot for a moment in time, and it'll give cute this and the third." I don't know if anyone else has had that experience and whatnot, but 9 times out of 10, no, it's a no for me. It's a no for me. I just don't think it works out. I think 9.5 times out of 10, it just doesn't work out. It's giving, we could all have houses on the same street. Yeah, I'd love to come over. But, maybe we shouldn't, we could maybe live in the same apartment building. But, no, let's not live together. Because I feel like if I had to, always hear Liam's awful jokes, I think at some point it would, actually, I'd start to get... And then I'd be like, oh, my God, this is actually starting to, I got to tell him he got to leave the house for, a week. But, what do y'all think?
You're speaking from a place of pain right now, Rock, and I feel you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Gag me.
Yeah, sometimes some people get along as friends, but they wouldn't necessarily get along as roommates per se. You can see this person every now and then, be close to them, but you couldn't live with them. It's the same way some people at work get along as co-workers or get along as friends, but they don't either aren't friendly with each other outside of work, or what was I gonna say? They either only are compatible as friends, and when they actually have to work at the same place together, it doesn't work well, or if they're co-workers, they wouldn't necessarily get along outside of work.
I feel that. What about the rest of you?
If you buy a house with friends, yeah, you just gotta make sure you vet them and make sure you know what's going on with it, and make sure that make sure that in terms of acquiring the ownership and title, y'all you buy it in partnership or something, make sure that's not going to one person, because you don't want a situation where you're not happy with this person, but this person owns the whole house, so you can't sell it because you'll end up still paying a mortgage on a house that you're not living in, yada yada. You just gotta make sure that you know that you can fully trust whomever you choose to live with, regardless. It could be relationship, it could be tight friendship, you know them for way back. You got to make sure that you have all that ironed out, and if you don't, and you decide and it goes bad, you ain't got nobody else to blame but yourself.
I'm not gonna lie, the vetting thing's real, but I've completely given up on that in life, only because I'm you could just not see certain things. Certain things might not ever come up with you and your homegirl until y'all live together. And then it's oh, I couldn't even imagine seeing this beforehand. And then it's literally too late, because now names are on leases, and it's imagine if you always thought all your girls were very clean, because you only ever saw them in clean aspects. And then y'all live together, and you start to see how some girlies leave dishes in the sink for well over 24 hours.
Oh, yeah.
And imagine if more than one of your roommates does that.
They're soaking.
Anyway.
Yeah.
The little excuse.
Also, Elijah, you just want to make sure to lean into the frame when you're talking.
Oh my God, Marcus clocked it. Marcus is a podcaster, y'all. But what Marcus said. I was gonna say, no, yeah, that shit is so you just don't. There's things you just don't see. There's things there's things you can't really see until, and it's just. But I feel honestly, I think when you and someone are very on the same kind of conflict resolutions styles, I think whatever problem comes up, is very much easier to fix. But if you guys are on the same vibe of like conflict resolution, like if you're the kind of roommate where if you have to like tell your roommate to get something together and you go right to their door and you tell them, and they're also that kind of person, I think you'll living wise get along very well. Then there are those of us that don't do amazing with like direct confrontation about even like smaller big things. It turns into, I forget what Cassandra was talking about that in another. Marcus, were you there when
we watched that TikTok?
Yeah, and Cassandra was talking about, Cassandra had said something at some point and whatnot about how some people have like this thing where it's like they can't be like they just get really sensitive and emotional about rejection, any kind of rejection. And I was like, I hate that because you can't cry about everything. I'm so sorry. Like you can't, like your homegirl can't tell you that like, yeah girl, like your twerk air stink and like you need to clean the tub more, and you're like, oh my god, I feel like you hate me. It's like, where did that come from? It's like the argument where it's like you're like oh, I love pancakes, so some dumb that you hate waffles, and it's like, oh, this is off.
This is really similar to that TikTok we watched about the online friends who didn't show that they were horrible people until it was too late.
Oh my god, that part. Oh my god, no, you're right. We had watched in another episode of the show. It was me, Marcus, Layton, Cassandra. It was the four of us.
Yeah, the usual four.
That part. We had watched like we watched a TikTok about a girl who she hung out with her internet friends, and they were very ungrateful and just leeches and just awful. And yeah, Straight Kings back in. Mm-hmm. Thanks. Did you or Shreddy have anything to add about the whole like roommate thing then? Like, what about the whole like, oh, let's all get a house together?
Yeah, I mean, like, house is just like, way too much liability. And like, if one person, I feel like if you're like, in the same apartment complex where it's like at the end of the day you can go back to your own space and like not just your room but just like your own space. Like, there's some times where it's like, look, I love all your but like I don't want to talk or deal with anyone for the rest of the night. And so knowing that you have like 10 people in your house, like, sometimes you have like a late shift or something, you just want to go right to bed, and you have like 5 people just like left in the room or something. It could be like, I love you 5 people, but I would love very much if I just had my own space and my own quiet right now.
Oh, are you one of those girls that like can't sleep unless? Or no, are you a soft sleeper? Like, you hear any kind of noise, it's like you're.
No, I'm like a heavy sleeper, but like, if someone's like banging or someone's kind of like cooking or just doing something or screaming at a game or.
Oh, I think I'm the kind where like I can go to sleep with anything around me, and I think I maybe might not wake up regardless of what's around me unless it's like a sharp instant like noise. I might like jot and be like, oh wait, I'm awake or whatever. I was trying to do some of that.
I kind of just agree with everybody because like just that kind of depends on the people. It can go either way for anybody. You just have to like set boundaries and stuff if you're gonna do it, and then if not, then you're just not gonna do it.
I feel that. Okay, I feel that. I am looking for no.
You want to move in together?
What'd you say?
So you want to move in together?
God, no. I do not want to move in with any more friends at all ever again in my life. Well, maybe. Actually, probably not. Like, I'd be cool with like. What time? Oh, it's at 40. I'd be cool with like owning a spot and like being like, oh yeah, y'all. Anyone can like live at like putting girlies up in it. But like, I'm not gonna lie. Elijah's right. That name on everything is very important. It's like, oh, I can't just.
Maybe a triplex with the homie. You rent out one of the units. That might be a W.
I don't know what a triplex is. I'm not gonna lie.
3 apartments in one building.
Different leases?
No. So basically, the idea would be
I'm out.
You own the triplex, and you own it maybe in partnership or like in trust. Like you and your friend made like a little LLC, and you have it trusted to like one of y'all, but in the LLC or some shit, or trusted to the LLC, something in terms of title. But you own the triplex, and you and your friend live in unit A and B in the triplex and rent out the 3rd unit. That might be a move. I don't know.
I think I get it. I don't know if I really did.
That mortgage cost might be much more or less. Because generally the idea is like if you get like a duplex or a triplex, you would make the mortgage payments off of renting out one of the units in it. But if you wanted to live with your friends still,
Wait, but if you're like doing that, isn't that like not fair to whoever you're renting it out to, that they're paying like someone else?
no, that's just the game.
I mean, you're paying a landlord either way.
Wait, no, that's what that. Wait, yeah, that's what. Wait, that's kind
Yeah, but they
Yeah,
wouldn't know
that's
that
the-
you were in charge of the room.
That's the game.
They just
Yeah.
No, but like I would
That's so
no, but
funny.
like why would you, but like why would we want to do that to
they would
somebody?
think you're paying rent too.
If someone else is
No,
gonna, you might as well be the one making the
No,
money.
just because someone does evil in this world doesn't mean you should too.
Because it's hard to make an actual argument, especially like how I believe it. But like I also work in the field, so I'm kind of like, look, there's ways to do it ethically.
I don't. It doesn't really
And
sound
there's
like
ways
it.
to do it to make money.
Well,
There's ways to do it to make money. That's for real.
But no, yeah, it sounds like it's morally wrong to like
I mean-
be sitting back and be like, oh well, this third unit is paying our mortgage.
Yeah, but you worked hard enough to secure the assets to pay for the building in the first place.
Which
Like
is the
you can't
idea.
just get the building and then.
I disagree. I don't really see
That's
all
like the
that.
main. That's like the main idea that makes
How
it
you
like
gonna make money,
morally
Rob?
like ambiguous.
Yeah.
But I
You
no, but
make $5 an hour the rest of your life?
That's
no,
what
but that,
landlords
no,
do.
sir. You and second of all, but that's the point. It's like, you know, oh, money, but then it's like, okay, but like people matter more. Well, to me, people matter more than like money. I think that's like that's kind of like a do to somebody. Like they're paying my
Yeah, but
mortgage from this.
Is it any
from-
different than like a landlord if you own 20?
I believe landlords.
Yeah, but if you own 20
but the thought process is
Yeah, but like triplex are not any worse than like owning an entire apartment complex.
Wait, what? No, I'm Layton. I mean,
'Cause
not Layton. Marcus. Do you get what I'm saying? Like the whole like, you know,
I understand, like, it's basically two of you bought a place and now you're finding some third sucker to pay your bills for you.
like all of that.
That's
Yeah,
what
you
anyone
still
that has a
gotta
shore
pay.
house that rents it out for vacation does the same thing, where you basically
Yeah.
pay for their mortgage for a year
Yeah, I have
by renting it out during the vacation.
And you still gotta pay.
Game is
insurance,
game.
That's different. No, that's different.
Utilities.
Like
They still live there for most of the year too.
no, but like us going to like vacation at someone's like shore house and whatnot and paying that like fee is different than like me and Elijah going and getting some sucker to live somewhere and be like, oh, this rent that they don't know it, but this rent that they are paying is our mortgage.
Yeah, but if it's below the
that's like
yeah, but
that's
if it's-
ethically wrong. That's
Yeah,
wrong.
not necessarily, though.
It's the same value as like it's like at the end of the day, like they gotta pay you money to live somewhere.
Yeah.
They gotta pay somebody money to live
Yeah, if they were
somewhere.
paying you $800 and the average rent around here was $1,500, would you charging $800 be more unethical than them paying $1,500 for an apartment?
Wait, I'm confused. Are you saying like they're
Like,
paying
like,
800,
if you-
but I could make them pay 1,500?
No, like I'm saying, like, yeah, if you
That-
but it's like a fair rate. Is it really that bad?
Oh, that's
like
that's
if
actually-
it's below what like the average rent standards are. Like let's say
I
you're
think we're
finding
gonna-
the third person, but it's like $300 less than like if you were just to go to a normal apartment around the area.
Wait, what are you trying to say? Because wait, what are you trying to say?
Like it's a triplex. Like if you're finding the third person, so you and your friend have it, right? So you have 2 of the rooms filled, and let's say like you got a really good deal on it, and like you could charge a person $800 and still kind of cover the mortgage like with that, or whatever. If you give them a rate that's fair and like cheaper than average rent, is it really that bad?
So you're saying my choice is I can charge them 800 and it's cute, or I could gouge them and charge them
Yeah, like if you're
1,500?
gouging them like everyone else, but if it's like a fair rate, is it really
Am I
that
gonna
bad?
gouge a person or am I gonna be ethical? I'm gonna pick the ethical choice.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's like it's not that it doesn't have to be that bad.
Yeah, it
you can
doesn't-
ethically
But you-
triflex.
You got
and still make some money.
You just can't pass like
You just-
it's exactly like how like be like
This sounds like just
I got a
straight
business,
landlords.
right? I got a business, right? And like I want to grow my business. I want that shit to be big and whatnot. It could be a really good important thing, but like there is an upper threshold where it starts being like, all right, I do gotta be over, and that's usually the part of when I'm starting to be like $1 million like business or $1 billion business, where I'm like, all right,
Well, maybe that's
somebody got over.
Maybe that's the
Right.
point. Like, to be ethical, you should not do.
That's what I mean, but like,
Yeah, they just keep proving the point. Like, that's the
It's the
whole
same thing.
point.
This is America. When are we ethical? When are we
Like-
ethical with
like,
anything?
it's
You
the
can
same
have a
thing.
choice of.
It's the
so-
same thing with being a landlord, though. Like I would not say be a landlord because at the same time,
Literally my
at the same
entire
time,
point, yeah.
same time, logically, in terms of trying to survive in America as it is right now, because there ain't no UBI, there ain't no subsidized housing, no rent control, no way. If I'm in a position where I can buy a triplex for myself and just call it that, because I will just get those 2 rented out, have them pay below market or something like that, or pay market but like a fair rate. Also be like a present important landlord, because also the thing about it being a landlord is that you still got to maintain the property. It means you got to still pay for anything that goes wrong. Anything is liable to you. The renter has no liability except for things that they damage themselves. So if the water pipe busts just randomly, that ain't on your tenant unless they a gun at the water heater. Like, that's on you. So you gotta fix that joint. And so like the only place where it becomes unethical then, if you're in this landlord situation, is if either you have a lot of properties or you really truly want to be a landlord to actually make profit off of landlording. So you're buying multiple properties, you'll have a portfolio within a specific neighborhood where you're renting all these properties, and you may raise the rent on one of the properties and keep the rent on the other property low. The prices in the general vicinity of that, like there's so many ways you can play it. And just having one property, renting out one property is not inherently bad. And like if you're especially doing it just like with the homie, you just want to also like have a place to live, something to sustain yourself, and then possibly you can flip it later on if we're still stuck in this system 15 years from now. Yeah, go ahead and get that triplex. Just keep it at one though. Do not keep it at one. Keep one. You can level up, sure. You better be doing that to the best of your abilities. You better be a transparent, thorough landlord that will come fix anything, that will help tenants with whatever. You hear them out, whatever if they can't make payments, you're not gonna sweat them, try to evict them, because that's the real also part. Like if you try to evict people back to back,